More threats against Donald Trump's family. The FBI and the Secret Service are now investigating both threats. A threatening letter was sent to Donald Trump's sister, Judge Maryanne Trump Barry. She's a federal judge in Philadelphia and received the threat on Friday. And this coming just one day after a similar letter with suspicious white powder was sent to Donald Trump's son, Eric Trump. Eric Trump goes on the record for the first time since receiving that threat. Good evening, Eric.
Hey, Greta, how are you?
Good. Well, unfortunately, this seems to be part of the business, these horrible threats. Tell me, what happened?
Well, it's unfortunate, right? You always have a bunch of whack jobs out there, and this was one case where you had exactly that. But, we got a couple threatening letters, and I guess, listen, I think you said it best, right? It's almost come to be expected in a process like this. And my father's really, there's tremendous energy around him. There's tremendous passion. He's really started a movement. And listen, I guess there's some other people on the other side that don't feel so passionate about it. But, he's done something incredible. And, listen, I think people are lashing out.
So this was reported that there was powder in it. And was it your wife who opened it?
Yeah, it was my wife that opened it. It was a letter, a nice little death threat, and obviously, powder in there. And the authorities did a great job. I mean, the cops and the police and the FBI in this country are so great. They're such unbelievable people. And they did an amazing job, and everything was fine. But it's sad. It just comes with the territory when you're going through a process like this.
Well, I assume that they're checking to see who did it. Any word on whether or not they have a suspect?
Yeah, well, nothing yet. Nothing yet. They're investigating it, and they will find the person. I mean, they're investigating it, and they will find it. But
all right. Well, the powder in and of itself is a threat. What did the letter say that was threatening?
Yeah, effectively it was, get out of the race, otherwise something bad's going to happen, etc. So, listen, there's a lot of people, Greta, we've seen this our whole life. There's a lot of people who are crazy, we're a known family. This kind of thing happens. It's unfortunate. I don't love it for my wife, obviously. It's unfortunate, but this kind of thing happens. And my father's resignating. I mean, you see the passion when at these rallies, you see the passion across the board, you see the voter turnout. You're going to have people on the other side who lash out to it, and that's exactly what happened.
What do you know about the letter to your aunt, who's a federal judge in Philadelphia?
Yeah. Well, I don't know how much I should even be talking about it, but roughly the same. I mean, roughly the same, saying the same general message. And again, a family, especially a family as visible as us, we've been out there. You know this. I've been on this show 100 times supporting my father. He's the greatest man in the entire world. I love him to death. That's why I do this. But we've been by his side, and we've been very, very visible, and so naturally it comes with the territory.
One last question. It seemed that the same person sent both of them. I mean, was there the writing looked the same, or was the message the same?
Yeah, it very much did. It very, very much did. It probably was the same person.
All right. So anyway, your father just spoke at AIPAC. Did you have a chance to watch it?
He did an amazing job. Honestly, the standing ovations in there, I mean, I was incredibly proud of him. The Twitter feedback was amazing. I mean, Ed Rollins was just on the shows on Fox Business, and I was just watching him talking about it, and he was giving him such amazing praise. My father knocked it out of the park tonight, and I can't tell you how many friends I just had, Jewish friends who are in the business. Your father was so incredible. I mean, he really solidified the Jewish vote tonight. It was, I think it was a great night for my father.
He tossed in one line at the end. It was off script because we had a copy of the embargoed speech ahead of time, because that's what we get when people, a lot of the politicians do that, and the president does as well. Give us a speech ahead of time and embargo it. He said that his daughter may be having a Jewish baby any second. And now it's been about 20 minutes to a half an hour. Do you have any update on that at all?
That means she must have just had it, Greta. Maybe you guys know something I don't. No, Ivanka's, Ivanka's very close to being due, and she's amazing, and she's Jewish. And in fact, her husband married myself and my wife, and it's a big part of the family. So my father's speaking from a place where he's got Jewish family members, and it's a big part of our lives.
So there's no baby right now. You could say so. There's no baby, so we can get off the baby watch for at least the evening.
Unless I just got an email that I don't know about because my phone's about 5 feet away from me. But no, I think we're probably off baby watch for the evening. But you just never know.
How's your father going to do in Arizona and Utah?
He's going to do amazing tomorrow. I mean, Arizona is a state where he's just been knocking out of the park in terms of the polls. People love him. I mean, he's had so many incredible endorsements there. Every time he goes, he's speaking in front of 30, 40, 50,000 people. So we'll see. I think we're going to have a great day tomorrow. Obviously, Arizona's winner take all, and I really think we have the state. I'm keeping my fingers crossed, but I think we're going to do tremendously there tomorrow.
Have you done the math to see if you get to 1,237 before the convention? Because there's an awful lot of noise going on about whether this is going to be a contested, not a brokered, but a contested convention come this summer.
Well, the story that hasn't been told is we're really coming back to our area in the country, right? Our place. Like, we've done so well thus far, but now we're coming back to New York. Ted Cruz isn't winning New York after his famous New York values line. He's just not doing that. He's not winning New Jersey. He's not winning Connecticut. I mean, we're really coming back here. California, we're doing great in the polls in California. My father spends a tremendous amount of time out there, and we have a lot of property out there. I mean, it's a state he knows incredibly well. He's doing amazing in California. I mean, across the board, we have many states that are really We have a great advantage, and I think we're going to do great in them, Greta. I mean, I really think we're coming into our territory now.
Well, it's sort of interesting because now, I mean, at least it seems he's been, in the last day or so, he's now released his foreign policy team.
Sure.
This was more of a policy speech. We've been hearing he's been taking a lot of questions more about the polls and the numbers. And so there seems to be, at least for the last 18 hours, a little shift in the strategy.
Yeah, I think that's right. And I think more and more he's focusing on Hillary because I think that's going to be his adversary. And we have to, as a party, we have to start focusing on her. If she's likely going to be the person, we have to start focusing on her. We got to put the nonsense behind us. We got to go. I think we're going to get to the 1237. I'm really confident that we're going to get to the 1237. I think we're going to do tremendously in the upcoming states. Pennsylvania is one that I didn't mention before, but we're doing so well in Pennsylvania, in a state that we know very well. We have to, as a party, start turning our attention to Hillary. Otherwise, we're not going to do well against her. We have to start turning our attention to Hillary.
Is the party going to? I mean, there seems to be a lot of rupture in the party. Almost some people say that now they don't want that pledge that they all signed. Do you worry that if your father does get the nomination, he's just not going to get the unified party, so there isn't a third-party candidate come November?
I think he'll actually do a great job unifying the party, and I think the party's actually coming around. I think the party sees a clear path for him. Kasich doesn't have a path. Cruz, quite frankly, has very little of a path. I think Cruz would need 90% of the remaining delegates going into states like New York, which we're going to win, and states like Pennsylvania and Connecticut and all these other ones. He would need 90% of the delegates effectively to get to that 1237 number. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. My father has a clear path there. I really think we're going to go. I think we're going to get that 1237. And I think we're going to run against Hillary, and I can't wait till we do. My father's going to do such an unbelievable job against her. We're going to win this thing. I mean, we're just going to win this thing.
Eric, thank you for joining us, and tell your sister I said, I don't know what, I mean, as soon as the baby's born, congratulations. It may be premature to say it now. Anyway, yeah. Eric, thank you.
Thank you, Greta. We'll keep you updated.